CIET NCERT presents the audiobook of Physical Education and Well-being titled Khel Praveen for Grade 9.
Chapter 13 Sports and Disability. Page number 104. In a small village in India lived a boy who was full of energy and loved playing with other children. One day he suffered from a serious illness that left him with a disability. Walking and moving became difficult for him. Many people in his village felt sorry for him and thought his life would be full of struggles. But he was determined not to give up. He believed that he could still do something special. He found hope in swimming. Even though his body was weak, but his spirit was strong. He started practicing in the village well and later in proper swimming pools. With years of hard work, he became a skilled swimmer. His courage and dedication helped him to participate in the Paralympics, where he represented India with pride. His story shows us that disability is not inability. What matters is willpower, confidence, and never giving up. Sports are not just about winning medals, but about enjoying movement, building health, and learning teamwork. Sports have a special way of bringing people together. When we play a game, we share movement, laughter, effort, and teamwork. In those moments, differences matter less, and what matters more is participation and enjoyment. That is why sports are often seen as a space where everyone can feel included. For people with disabilities, sports can be especially empowering, helping them develop independence, self-belief, and a strong sense of belonging. In the past, many people with disabilities were left out of games and physical activities because others did not understand how to include them. Today, attitudes are changing, and we understand that disability does not mean inability. Here at the bottom right corner of this page, a figure has been given in which 4 different drawings have been illustrated. These drawings, each of them, are of a differently abled or a specially abled individual athlete. One is sitting on a wheelchair, one has a prosthetic arm, one is using a walking stick, and the other is using prosthetic artificial limbs or legs. Page number 105. With some changes in rules, equipment, or the playing environment, everyone can take part in sports. These are called adapted sports, and they show how sports can be made welcoming for all. Disability is defined as a condition that restricts a person's ability to perform everyday activities due to impairments in physical, sensory, intellectual, or psychological functioning. Disabilities can be congenital, present at birth, or acquired later in life due to illness, accident, or aging. The World Health Organization (WHO) and the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, India, classify disabilities into broad categories: physical, sensory, intellectual, learning, psychosocial, and multiple disabilities. To ensure inclusion and equal opportunities, the Government of India officially recognizes certain conditions and offers benefits and assistance. Under the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, 21 types of disabilities are recognized for support. Such measures remind us that every person deserves respect, opportunities, and the chance to participate fully, including in sports. Understanding disabilities through observation. A picture has been drawn here on this page. It illustrates random thoughts in the shapes of different blocks coming together in the mind of a person and forming one whole block. These blocks are of different colors, and it shows inclusivity in sports and other activities. Understanding disabilities through observation. Observe carefully at the figure 13.1. showing people with different disabilities, wheelchair users, a person with a guide dog, an amputee athlete, etc. Discuss with your teacher and find out the list of 21 disabilities under the RPWD Act 2016 and identify which types of disabilities you think are represented in the picture. Example: person using a wheelchair, locomotor disability. Person walking with a guide dog for blindness or low vision. Page number 106. Figure 13.1 has been given on page number 106. This figure illustrates various drawings of differently abled or disabled persons playing different games, doing various tasks, and using various measures to do everyday tasks. They seem to be enjoying their tasks and are helped by various measures, people, guide dogs, equipments, or other measures. Page number 107. Discuss in pairs or small groups. 1. Which disabilities are illustrated in the image? 2. Which disabilities are not illustrated but are still important, like learning disabilities, autism, and blood disorders? Write down your answers below. Here, a table has been given with 2 columns titled Visible Disabilities, illustrated in the picture, and the next column is titled Invisible Disabilities, given in the list but not illustrated in the picture. You have to write down the names of visible and invisible disabilities over here. Benefits of sports participation with disabilities. A table has been given here with 3 columns titled Children and Teenagers, Adults, and Elite Athletes. First row. Children and teenagers make new friends and feel included. As adults, stay fit and healthy. As elite athletes, win medals and get recognition. For children and teenagers, learn teamwork and enjoy playing together. For adults, build confidence and independence. For elite athletes, break stereotypes about disability. Benefits for children and teenagers: feel happy and proud of achievements. For adults, find purpose and enjoyment in life. For elite athletes, show dedication, discipline, and mental strength. Benefits for children and teenagers: improve fitness and confidence. For adults, get support from teammates and friends. And for elite athletes, inspire society and challenge wrong beliefs. Benefits for children and teenagers: have fun and create a sense of belonging. For adults, accept and adapt to disability. For elite athletes, gain equality, respect, and opportunities. Page number 108. Let us reflect. After observing the images, what did you understand about the types and degrees of disabilities? Why is it important to recognize that some disabilities cannot be illustrated just by looking at a person? Barriers to adaptive sports participation. People with disabilities often face many challenges in taking part in sports. Some common barriers include lack of accessible playgrounds, high cost of equipment, and difficulty in transportation. Many also struggle with limited knowledge of opportunities, shortage of activities, or lack of social support. Health issues, pain, and risk of injury can also hinder participation. These barriers show why schools and communities must work together to make sports inclusive for everyone. The meaning of Paralympic. The word Paralympic comes from the Greek word para, meaning beside or alongside, and the word Olympic. This illustrates that the Paralympic Games are held parallel to the Olympic Games, giving athletes with disabilities the same chance to compete at an international level. Trivia. At present, the Paralympic Games include 28 sports, 22 summer sports, and 6 winter sports. These sports are adapted to allow athletes with different types of disabilities to compete at the highest level. The Paralympic Games. The Paralympic Games are the highest level of competition for elite athletes with physical disabilities. Just like Olympic athletes, Paralympians train hard, follow strict qualification rules, and compete with the goal of achieving their personal best and a gold medal. The Paralympics give athletes with disabilities an environment of excellence, fairness, and pride. Page number 109. Opportunities for Paralympic athletes. Through the Paralympic Games, athletes with disabilities get the chance to pursue their goals and ambitions in sport, dream of medals and international recognition, train rigorously with discipline and commitment, qualify by merit, meeting high international standards, and showcase excellence, courage, and determination to the world. Let us reflect. Which barrier do you think hinders participation the most? Discuss with your classmates and try to identify possible solutions. Activity. Match the following. A table has been given here titled Barriers and Solutions. There are two columns, one with various barriers and the other with various solutions to these problems. You have to match the following. The barriers are 1. High cost of sports equipment. 2. Lack of ramps or accessible playgrounds. 3. No transport to reach sports grounds. 4. Not enough knowledge about opportunities. 5. Lack of friends or family support. The given solutions are A. Provide school buses or special vans with wheelchair space. B. Organize awareness programs and inclusive sports events. C. Encourage peer support and buddy systems. D. Gain access to government or NGO funding and donations for equipment. And E. Build ramps, rails, and accessible sports facilities. Page number 110. Core values of the Paralympic movement. The Paralympics are guided by four main values. 1. Courage. Athletes show bravery by doing what many people think is impossible. 2. Determination. They push their physical and mental limits to achieve success. 3. Inspiration. Their stories motivate others to face challenges with hope and strength. 4. Equality. Paralympic sports fight against discrimination and promote inclusion for all. Activity. 1. Pick one Paralympic value: courage, determination, inspiration, or equality, and create a poster showing how this value can be used in your own life, in school, sports, or at home. Disability simulation game. 2. Blindfold some students and ask them to walk short distances guided by a partner. Give earplugs to a few students and ask them to communicate with gestures only. Ask others to write using their non-dominant hand. Exercises. 1. Name the 5 broad categories of disabilities as recognized by the WHO and RPWD Act 2016. 2. What are adapted sports? How many sports are currently included in the Paralympic Games? 3. Are accessible playgrounds important for inclusion? Justify. Page number 111. Eligible impairment types. Paralympics. The 10 eligible impairments. Event categories are established in relation to 10 types of physical, vision, and intellectual impairments formally recognized by the Paralympic organization. Figure 13.2 has been given here, which illustrates a female amputee athlete running in a race. Beside her are mentioned the 10 eligible impairments: impaired muscle power, spinal cord injury, poliomuscular dystrophy, muscle tension, hypertonia, cerebral palsy, brain injury, stroke, impaired passive range of movement, restricted joint movement either through a health condition or through trauma, uncoordinated movements, ataxia, cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, stroke, limb deficiency, Total or partial absence of bones or joints as a consequence of trauma, illness, or from birth. Involuntary movements, athetosis. Cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, stroke. Leg length difference, either through disturbed limb growth or result of trauma. Visual impairment, reduced or no vision either from birth or through injury or a condition. Short stature, reduced length in or trunk bones of arms and legs. Intellectual impairment, must be present before the age of 18. Chapter 13. Sports and Disability ends here.
Khel Praveen, you were just listening to this audiobook, Textbook of Physical Education and Well-being for Grade 9. Narrator Vaibhav J. Srivastav. Sound recordist Muhammad Faizan. Assistance in production Mukul Singh. Directed and produced by Vimlesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.